Hi, my name is Jonathan Aspitor from MyProfessionalBrand, and today we'll be discussing how to make yourself a unicorn professionally. So we often get asked, how do you really stand out? There's so much noise in today's market. There are millions and millions and millions of posts being done every day on every social media platform, and there are so many professionals that claim to have expertise in different ways. What we always share with our clients is the way you make yourself a unicorn professionally is you need to at least go 4 layers deep in your area of expertise. For example, there's plenty of CFOs that exist that have SaaS experience, even for startups. But when you layer on a consumer goods company that's targeting a 20 to 30-year-old age demographic, your expertise starts to get very, very defined. You want to be in the 1% of the 1% of your expertise. That's where you stand out the most. That's where people will pay the most for your insights, for your thoughts. And really, it's about breaking through. With everything that's happening today, it's more important than ever to be unique to stand out in a market. We've seen it forever with influencers where they do these dramatic shows of how they're explaining something or what they're doing. But in a professional setting, it's really much more so about what makes you incredibly unique, far more so than anyone else. That's what we find is most fascinating. In fact, the question we most often ask our clients is if someone were to pay you $25,000 for your expertise right now, who would be the most likely person or company to do it? This enables you to really think, where am I most unique, most targeted, that it would make someone do that? That's when it starts to get really interesting. So, what we're going to discuss today very briefly is how you do that. You start with what your core area of expertise is. Is it finance? Is it marketing? Is it technology, operations, sales, law? Then you really put your expertise into it. So, what subset of that do you know really well? Mergers and acquisitions, AI, customer acquisition. Then you layer in your market. Where have you accumulated what we call unusual knowledge, something that stands out? Um, that's where it starts to get really interesting. The more unique or unusual, the better you have the ability to stand out. And once again, it doesn't mean that that's your only persona, but it enables you to create a foothold and potentially one, two, or three personas that do enable you to stand out. The next part is really your unique lens. What makes your combination particularly rare? Is it geography, company stage, distribution model, customer type, or age demographic? We find repeatedly if you're in your 50s, you generally have a unique expertise of that generation of consumers or customers. Same thing if you're in your 30s or if you're in your 70s. So that's often one of the last layers we put on that makes a big difference. Then you put all of that together. The whole key is you don't try and really invent a niche. You're discovering the niche you already have. You're just articulating it better and putting it in a way that it will stand out to the right people, which makes a huge difference in algorithms. When you mention what you do to people, everything, it helps you really stand out. The next part is how do you monetize this? Why is it worth having this incredible expertise that is unique to you and you're in the 1% of 1%? So it really amplifies your opportunities that you're qualified for, that people would reach out to you for. It can be everything from advisory work to boards to speaking to teaching to publishing. Um, the reality of it is a former consumer CEO is very difficult to match, but a former CEO with deep experience scaling technology-enabled consumer businesses targeting customers aged 30 to 50 in the United States, all of a sudden there is a very, very defined niche of who to go after. So we have a very simple exercise to think about today, and you can write it down right now, or you can think it through in your head. What's your strongest functional expertise? Start there. Layer on top of it an industry or category you know unusually well, and you have to have an unusual viewpoint there. Then add into it the customer or market you understand unusually well. Then the last thing What's one additional characteristic that makes your experience rare? That is how you stand out in the market. Then what you layer on top is consistent posting on platforms, getting that expertise out. When your colleagues, friends, whoever ask what you're up to, you share this is the niche. And it's amazing how that will compound over time and actually opportunity will start to find you. So, what I'd like to do today is also show you how we do this for our clients at My Professional Brand. Here's the platform that our clients see at My Professional Brand. It starts with the value of their brand where it is today and how it can grow. Over the last 15 to 20 years, we've seen executives generally get a 3% compensation increase each year. Obviously, doesn't factor in if they take a new job and get a bump, but what we're trying to help them do is get to 6% or 10%. As part of this, every year we update all their bios for them. As you start to define what makes you a unicorn professionally, this is what should come across in your bios for boards, for speaking, for networking, for startups. That's the key. You take that concept and apply it there. We then go into monitoring how they appear. So we start to see how often they're appearing and where they're starting to show up more. There's search, but also with AI, search is being redefined for people how they're finding you. So the more you stand out in a unique way, the bigger impact it has. Also, with our clients, they get recommendations every quarter on how to turn that expertise into thought leadership out there. And we tee it up for them for social media, editorial, and video. So, those are just a few of the ways that we help our clients do that. We very much think, like you have a financial advisor for your financial assets, you should have an advisor or an agent who is trying to find you opportunities and getting your name out there and helping you compound that over time as well. So, I hope this concept is interesting to you today and you find for yourself what makes yourself a unicorn professionally. Because if you commit to that, and month over month, putting yourself out there and building on that, you will be amazed how opportunity finds you.